Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jake from TNJ, and welcome back to the Lions franchise as we kick off Season 8 now in the year 2026. So, in this episode, I will get through Season 8 and 9. I initially said I was going to get through one season and episode. I think I have about 2 or 3 episodes left here in this series as I want to kind of just wrap this series up and just move on to future endeavors. So before starting out this episode, I do want to show an upgrade here for Keon Knight. He is 88 overall now, and going into year number 3, I will have him upgraded, and I do want to upgrade his slot so he does become a better route runner, just a sharper route runner in that category. And he is the number 13 ranked receiver, and you can see, I mean, he is just primed, is going into his prime at age 25. The rookie Carlos Wright has an upgrade as well. He does upgrade to 77 overall before the start of his rookie season. He will start at free safety, and I thought I changed his position. I don't know why he's still listed as a strong safety. Darius Slay, the old man now, he has an upgrade. He will play in the slot, so let's upgrade that slot, and he will go up to 74. And that is going to probably be his last upgrade, probably of his career. I don't think that I can get 15,000 points with him, XP points with him. I think he's done. He will go to a 74 overall. So before starting this season, I do want to highlight that Trey Flowers is now Superstar X Factor. I don't think that was, I don't think he had that last year. Let me just look at his, let me see if I can see, is there a dev trait upgrade anywhere? And, oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so he did have the dev trait upgrade to Superstar X Factor, and it looks like now he will be, what is that, the 3rd guy on this team? Maybe 2nd that will have that Superstar X Factor, so pretty good to see that there. We also have Rich Patton. I'm trying to think of anybody else, if anybody else is Superstar X Factor. I don't think so. So in the opener, we start out on the road versus the Carolina Panthers, and we end up losing 45-35, playing our old pal Brent Thompson, and look at him, 4 touchdown passes. Him and Justin Fields went at it. No interceptions, but Christian McCaffrey took over this game. Kennedy Brooks is still getting carries, and I think it's, if you do fix the depth chart and they automatically reorder it for your best overall, I kind of hate that. I wish they would just kind of stick to what you set and don't change it. And I don't think there's a setting for that. If there is a setting for that, let me know, so that the computer doesn't try to change your depth chart, but I think they change it automatically. Now, Kenny Galladay had a game. 5 receptions, 155 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, that is just amazing. But I don't know why Keon Knight is not having these explosive games. Look at this. He only had 2 receptions, 20 yards, and a touchdown, and we come away with a loss in the opener. As let's just see what anybody else did. And it looks like Trey Flowers came up with a sack, and Trey Dean, the new acquisition at cornerback, had a half sack as well. So the next few games, we actually end up with a tie in between here. We end up beating the Bears in the next game 17-14. Good victory. Then we lose to the Vikings, who should be the best team in our division, to be honest, because they have Trevor Lawrence, who is literally a top 5 quarterback right now. We lose 20-14. Then we win the next 2, so we end up splitting those. But then we end up tying with the Vikings in this second game. Let's just look at the box score in this one. Pretty much equal on offense. Like I said, this is a tough team to stop, but Trevor Lawrence, 4 touchdown passes, 1 interception. Justin Fields had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions in this one. Brooks ran the ball well, though, 21 carries for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. But look at Stephon Diggs, 9 receptions, 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. There's Keon Knight with a good game, 8 receptions, 113 yards. Our defense is giving up a lot of points, though. I don't know why. Rich Patton had 10 total tackles in this game as well. So then the next 2 games, we end up splitting, losing to the Packers and winning at the Saints, and now we are here at the bye week at 4-3-1. So halfway through Season 8 now, the Cleveland Browns are 6-1 on top of the NFL. Remember, they did go to the Super Bowl last year and lost. So they actually lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then looking at the NFC, we are not a top team right now. We are actually 2nd in our division at 4-3-1 and behind the Vikings after we lost a close game and then ended up tying with them as well. So at the halfway point, it looks like Justin Fields is having one of the best years of his career so far. 21 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's actually a really good ratio. Gary Reedy only has 48 attempts for 173. Like I said, I don't know how to fix it so that he's a starter full time, because Kennedy Brooks right now is getting all the carries. Keon Knight actually has 8 touchdowns in 8 games, so he is having a good start to his this season. Galladay's having a good season as well so far. 366 yards and 5 touchdowns. Even after that monster 3-touchdown game, still only has 5 on the year. Hawkinson has 6 touchdowns, and then Henry Ruggs has 2 of his own. And on the defensive side of the ball, let's see who's leading our team in tackles. No surprise, Jelani Tavai is there. Trey Flowers has 6.5 sacks. That's pretty good for him. And then looks like Trey Dean, Tavai, McLeod, and Ali Gray all have 1 interception each. So this season is probably our toughest year because we have a ton of contracts that now need to be extended, starting with TJ Hawkinson, and he is our leader on offense. As far as tight ends go, we do have a ton of cap room, so I'm willing to give him what he wants and beyond. 5 years, $52 million. Pay him until age 34. He is still, I believe, the number 2 rated tight end in the nation in the NFL. So let's give him 5 years, 52. Let's see if he will accept that, and it is perfect. He will accept it. D'Angelo Boone is one of the best right guards. He's made the Pro Bowl every single year. He is asking for 5 years, $60 million. Let's give him 5 years, $64. Let's take care of our guys here and get him locked up till age 30, and he does sign that as well. Now, Justin Fields. Now, this is going to be a break-the-bank type of contract because obviously he's our quarterback, and he has done nothing but win. He is still on the up and up. It's going to be a 6-year, $170 million deal. And believe it or not, this is actually not the richest contract in NFL history. Remember Jared Goff in season 2, and after that signed with the San Diego Chargers, the LA Chargers, with $200 million to his name. I mean, that is just ridiculous. A 6-year, $170 million deal. I'm going to hold off. I'm going to actually hold off, and I might franchise tag him. And I know that's kind of the typical thing to do with these quarterbacks, just keep franchise tagging them. But I think it's a good move to just not lock up that money long term, because what if we end up not winning games with them? Now, Trey Flowers is asking for another contract, and I'm going to give it to him because he's Mr. Consistent. I'm going to give him a 2-year, $20 million deal, $10 million a year. I think it is definitely good, but he will decline that for now. And then the other guy I really do want to re-sign here is Marlon Yarbrough. Let's give him some stability with the organization. I want to lock him up actually 4 years. Let's up this bonus just a little bit to $10 million, get him up to $10 million. And I think I like this deal. 4 years, about 2.5 a year, and that is exactly what he will accept. And right now, that's all the guys I'm going to re-sign, and let's just move on to see how we do the rest of the way. Coming off of the bye week, we do defeat the Seattle Seahawks by 3 points. They are now quarterbacked by Russell Bernard. I'm going to take a closer look at him, but he had 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Kennedy Brooks ran for 74 yards. See, it's like just not impressive with Brooks. He just doesn't seem to have huge games. Definitely something I need, but we do get the narrow victory in that one. And then we end up winning the next 2. The Packers 24-21 in the Bills. We actually shut them out 20-0. So I guess I see why the Seahawks have moved on from Russell Wilson. He is now 37 years old and with the Philadelphia Eagles, believe it or not. And let's just look at the Eagles roster, because do they still have Carson Wentz? So they have a roster with Carson Wentz and Russell Wilson. That will never happen. I guess that's Madden for you. But Carson Wentz ends up being 80 overall at 33 years old. And then Russell Wilson at 74. So let's look at this Seahawks quarterback now and see what he looks like. He's 25. He's not much better than Russell Wilson actually at this point. 74 overall. He's the number 37 ranked quarterback. And he's not mobile. He's a pocket passer. I don't see much of a difference from Russell here. I mean, I don't see much of a skill gap difference. I mean, the overall is pretty much the same, but Russell seems like he's better. So it starts to get real now because we are now on a 5-game winning streak coming off of the bye, 6 total. And you can just see we beat the Jets 28-14 and the Patriots 38-20. But this next Giants game, we're playing up against Jeffrey Skillen, who beat us in the playoffs last year. But this is a bigger game than that because our left outside linebacker and our first round pick 3 seasons ago, James Anderson, now has a dev trait upgrade opportunity. So if we hold them to under 200 yards of rushing or 200 yards of total offense, or he gets 2+ tackles for loss, sacks, or interceptions, or anything like that, he will upgrade. So let's see if he will achieve it versus the Giants. All right, so it doesn't look like James Anderson had that game, but we did come away with the victory versus the New York Giants, 31-21. So with 2 games left, we still are 10-3-1. Let's just see if we can finish the job with a win streak here at the end of the season as we go up against the Bears in week 16. Let's just advance here, and we do come away with the victory, and it looks like we are in prime position here. Let's just see what the playoff standings look like. Now, it looks like we are 1 game ahead of the Vikings in the division, but we have that number 2 seed once again. So this is an important game to get that home field advantage, and we do have a scenario to sit or start our players. And I honestly want to start them because honestly, I'm gonna just start Hawkinson. They want to sit Hawkinson, but actually, you know what? It looks like I just accidentally played or sat him. So I guess I don't know how that's going to work. I'm just going to advance this here because now we're playing up against the defending Super Bowl champions in the Buccaneers. Let's just see if we come away with the victory because this is going to be big, and we don't. So we end up playing in the wild card round versus the Giants again. Wow, so that sucks. And now we are playing up against the Giants. We have a ton of upgrades, but I'm just going to manually upgrade. Actually, you know what? Let's just upgrade Keon Knight. And then the rest of the upgrades we're going to manually or actually automatically upgrade. So he goes up to 92 overall with morale. And it looks like he has an additional ability slot. So I wonder if he is going to get a dev trait upgrade. I don't know what his stats are yet. But going into the playoffs, we're going to need all the upgrades we can get. We have a ton of them. So let's just upgrade all players here. Make sure they're on their P's and Q's before going up against the Giants. One more opportunity to play the Giants in the playoffs. Hopefully this time it does not result. And it looks like, let's see what he has. Double move elite. So, okay. So I like that. He has another dev trait, I guess a superstar ability. And then Carlos Wright has one as well. Let's look at what the rookie ended up being. So remember, we did draft him as a hidden dev trait. He ends up being superstar. So, wow, we are building quite the unit on defense. Carlos Wright ends up being a superstar trait. Now, we go up against the Giants. They are 10-6, and they should be still quarterbacked by Jeffrey Skillen, barring any type of injury. Remember, he was the quarterback last year. Yes, he is 28 years old now, 88 overall. And he is really, really good. And they still have Saquon Barkley, who is still only 29. Just think of that. 8 seasons into this, he's still 29. He's still under 30. That's how good and young he is right now. I mean, man, this guy might end up being the best Giants running back. Probably. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that he probably will be the best Giants running back in their history and maybe one of the best to ever do it. And they are missing Mecole Hardman this game. So here we go. Let's just advance this and see what happens. And what happens. Like I said, it's going to be an all sim-based franchise from now on. And we do win 26-21. Let's just look to see how we did defeat them. I went to stats on accident. Let's just go to the schedule now and see how we beat them, as we will face the Saints in the second round. Remember, they had the number 1 seed locked up. So we win 26-21. They actually outgain us on offense. What is going on with our offense? I mean, is it the running back or what? But Fields did not throw a touchdown or an interception. So maybe it was our passing game this time. Jeffrey Skillen throws 3, though. We did stop the run pretty well. Saquon Barkley only ran for 54. And then Kennedy Brooks, a touchdown. Reedy ran for 2. So I guess maybe their defense was just really good. Remember, they had the #1 ranked defense total last season. So the Saints are quarterbacked by superstar X Factor Andy Hope. He is now 27 years old. In his 7th season, he took over for Drew Brees after season 1. So this is going to be fun to play him. Alvin Kamara is now 31 years old. He's still really young as well. In his 10th year now in the league, he is 95, the #5 ranked running back in the NFL. And then Michael Thomas is there, and they do have Marquise Butler out of USC. And looking at Michael Thomas, he is 33 years old now, still the #3 ranked receiver in the league. So hopefully we can shut him down. Well, there goes our season. We end up losing 35-17 in that game. And let's just look at the stats here as the Saints do defeat us by a pretty wide margin, to be honest. And maybe our offense let us down again. Well, they got 330 yards of offense. Let's just see what Fields did at quarterback. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Just not impressive there. Looking at the difference between him and Andy Hope. 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Rushing-wise, Alvin Kamara only had 2 attempts for 89 yards. He must have been banged up in that game because to only have 2 attempts, that's just ridiculous. And it looks like he broke one. Yards after contact, 81. That's just amazing. Fields ran 10 times for 46 yards, and it just ended up being the difference. Auden Tate actually was the big guy at receiver for the Saints in this one. And then Nicholas Francois had 2 touchdowns, 6 receptions, 53 yards. So after that season, Justin Fields does have a career year as far as touchdowns go, but he only threw for 3,500 yards, only 5 interceptions though. That's a pretty good year. I'll take it, but we still need those big games from him, and that's kind of why I'm hesitant to give him a bigger contract. Now, Kennedy Brooks, just shy of 1,000. We still are coming up short with a 1,000-yard rusher. He comes up about 32 yards short, 6 touchdowns. Keon Knight finishes with 13 touchdowns, and with that, he will actually move on to be a superstar X Factor, and let's see his superstar X Factor ability, and it's going to be Moss. So he will, looks like his success rate on aggressive catches of 50-plus yards, regardless of the coverage, will be legendary. So we'll have to see how that works. I've never seen that ability ever work in this game, so I guess I'll have to test it out just a little bit. And then looking at the defensive side of the ball, let's see who leads our team in sacks. It's going to be Sean Chapman. Oh, so Trey Flowers must have retired here as Big Play Slaying, probably his final year with the team because he's probably regressed. Yeah, he has 70 overall. Yeah, it's about time to let him walk. And I appreciate all he's done for the organization, but it seems like it's just time to move on. But let's just confirm or deny if Trey Flowers has indeed retired. And let's just check it out. Go over to the Lions. You see we did sign Dustin Revolt to a new contract. And it looks like, yep, Trey Flowers, after 12 seasons, will retire after just re-signing with us. He just retires. So I guess that money's just void. So I just want to look at news around the league after this season, and I did not show you guys, but it looks like Devontae Adams isn't retiring, but it looks like Lamar Jackson did win MVP, but you can just see Devontae Adams is retiring. Wow. So here after 8 seasons from now in real life, I guess you're going to see Devontae Adams retire. Trey Burton retires. Joe Schobert. Cam Newton retires. Wow. And then Michael Thomas also retires. So a lot of guys have retired after this season. And wow, really, really crazy to see this. As you can see, Lamar Jackson, there he is winning his MVP. And then it looks like Blake Martinez was cut by the Texans. Jalen Smith was cut as well. Just a lot of different moves around the league. And you can just see Trevor Lawrence did win Offensive Player of the Year for the NFC. So like I said, I thought I'd be able to get through 2 seasons in this episode, but I don't want it to run too long. And just looking at some questions we'll have to answer. Justin Fields, do we give him the contract? Because now he's asking for $180 million. I don't know. I think I just might franchise tag him. And then we have Henry Ruggs, Reed Watts, Kerry Reedy. All these guys are up for new contracts come next season. So that's going to do it here in this episode. Even Anthony Yang, we're going to try to just re-sign him in free agency. It'll be a lot cheaper if we do it that way instead of re-signing him. So we'll do that. Make sure he's on the team for sure because I love Anthony Yang. So that's going to do it here. Hit subscribe, hit that like button. Next episode will be the off season and then season 9. So stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
I be trying to do me, but they be trying to copy though. Only problem with that is they not me though. People act cool, but really they be shiesty though. They say they got your back, but they ain't even behind me though. I be low key, but police be trying to find